testing sound as usual, so please, people in the chat, let me know. Can you hear me? Thank you, Mernas. I think we need that news thing, you know, that it counts 10, 9, 8, 7, you know, with all the bloody logos and all that, you know, so. Okay, so here we go. All right, guys, welcome to week 5, you know, so time is flying when we are having fun, all right? Yeah, so, but today, I'm going to be a victim because I decided to do live programming without any preparation. As usual, I don't prepare for these sessions. I just wing it and see what happens, you know, but I think it's easy to make stuff in ideal conditions, you know, so you test and make sure everything works and you have all the lovely programming. That's never going to happen in real life, so I kind of want to also simulate, you know, I don't know, I can't predict what's going to happen in this section because things can go wrong and they do all the time, and it's the question of how we deal with them. So it happens to me, it happens to everyone. Today we are going to do CRUD, okay? And CRUD, let me just switch to this scene, okay? As you can see on my screen, CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete, okay? So what I want to do is be able to show you guys how to create a new record, how to read existing records, how to update the record, and then how to delete a record. So these are basic functionalities of any website that you encounter, okay? So I'm going to cover quite a lot of details, and I want to do this properly as well. So I'm not going to just give you an example that you can find online, because there are millions of examples online. I'm actually going to do this properly, okay? So because we are using problem-based learning, we are working on our AI SIHA project. And in AI SIHA project, we have our English articles, okay? So lots of articles in English. And we use Google to translate them to Arabic, which worked all rightish, okay? So there are lots of mistakes, that's the problem. What we are doing with this in our mobile app, we allow users to submit the corrections, okay, or suggestions how to say something properly. So what we want to do in this example, in today's lesson, is to create a few web pages, okay? So the first web page is going to be where I can see all the suggestions, okay? So that is the reading part, okay? So I read it from the database and I can display them on the screen, okay? We have seen that already in a few examples, so I'm going to make my life miserable, but putting them in a data table, okay? So we'll see how JavaScript and a few other things work at the same time, okay? Once I have them all displayed on my lovely screen, then what I want to do is add a new one, okay? To add a new one, I need to create a form and talk about how to manage the form. Then we have to edit existing one, so make a change, correction, you know, so again, it's done through form, but slightly differently, so I'll show you what's the difference. And then I can, if I have time, show how to validate the inputs, okay? And then at the end of the day, we'll just delete these records, but I'm not going to create a new page for that. I'm going to create that pop-up little thing saying, are you sure, which is also called modal. So, and then after that, I'm going to delete these records, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do, okay? So, good luck to me, all right. So this is my AI Siha and some other applications, it doesn't matter, and this is my VS Code. So what I want to do is, first of all, where would I start, okay? Where would I start? I typically need the URL, okay? So if I go to AI Siha, you know, and if I go to this dashboard, there is a bug somewhere. I also can see that AI Siha doesn't have an icon, so this link doesn't work. So, and I would like to have a link here which says corrections, okay, or suggestions. It depends what I want to call them. So the first thing, before I go into any of that, let me try to find where the menus are, okay, in this application. So I'm going to find a folder, and I'm going to search for menu, okay? And then I get quite a lot of, what's it called, results. I can push this button, which makes it like that. And I can exclude some files. So if I say, I don't care about CSS files, okay, so now it's going to delete all the CSS files, and I don't care about JavaScript files, okay, so now, and let's say I don't care about SQL files, so I can just see what I care about. These files are like cached files, which have weird names, so I don't care about that. But I can see here menu item, menu item, menu item. This looks like something that I care about, okay? So if I click here, oh, it says dashboard, dashboard, dashboard. Yeah, so this is brilliant, okay? So it gives me everything about the dashboard. So what I'm going to do here is say, let's call this suggestions, okay? And the link is going to be suggestions. How to spell suggestions, with double G or double S? Or nothing, okay. Let's try double G. Okay, so we've selected this is going to be dashboard, this is going to be dashboard, there's no children, and so on and so on. So basically, if I refresh this page now, okay, and click this and click here, I still have dashboard, okay? What we are doing, and this is a little bit silly, I need to go to user settings, and here I have menus for different applications, okay? And see, I have the menu dashboard, okay? So what we are doing here basically is remembering the menus once they are generated. So I need to kind of delete these, and it's also selecting did I collapse this menu or not, so it tries to remember my user settings, okay? So I'm just going to delete all these menu options from the database, okay? All of those. Fine, delete, and if I refresh this page, now AI Siha doesn't have a submenu, okay, so if I click on it, it should generate it, and now I should have my suggestions, okay? So this is how menus work in AppSource, and you can edit and correct all of that. I think one of you reported as a bug or something like that, and there is a task to be done to fix these menus. But this is not how you fix them, because ideally I would like to have this in a different languages. So if I log in as a French user, this says, I don't know, suggestion or whatever they say for this one, okay? So I have suggestions, which if you see at the bottom here, it leads to /suggestions, okay? But that's incorrect, okay? Why is it incorrect? Because this is AI Siha, so it should be really AI Siha /suggestions, okay? So if I refresh this, it's not going to update it, I think, because, oh, it did. So yeah, so it detected now intelligently that is my link, okay? And if I click on it, it's not going to be found, okay? Why? Any ideas? Why is this not found? Because I don't have a root. Okay, so there's something that needs to do with roots and say, okay, so I'm going to have a root. I'm going to copy this one, just one above, okay, and I'm going to put a comment, and this is going to be roots for all suggestions. Okay, so this is suggestions. Okay, as I say, I copy paste, I don't type, because then I ensure that I have consistency. So this is going to be a new controller. Okay, it's going to be suggestions controller, and it's going to be, I don't know, let's call it index for the time being. Okay, so if I refresh this page now, what's going to say this controller doesn't exist, which is a fair point. It really doesn't, because I didn't create it yet. Okay, so, but before I create this controller, I want to show you something that you can do, and this is, I close the page. So let me try to find it. It wasn't this one, it was this guy's had it here. I never used this, so this is why I'm, okay, and it's this thing here. Okay, so CD AI Sicha, all right. So what is going to happen now? A Laravel, I can create a controller. So I create a new file, I can create a new model, and then in that controller I have to say, you know, use this class, extends that class, and all that sort of stuff. So I can type all that or copy paste from existing controller. But Laravel has this artisan command line, which you can find online, many uses. And it can create this automatically for me, okay? So I was just looking for the syntax, okay? So this is the syntax, and it says PHP, because it's a PHP command that is executed in command line interface. And artisan is that range of commands that I can do. And the command that I want to do is a make controller, okay? But I'm not going to call it char controller, I'm going to call it suggestions controller. So I'm going to call it that, okay? And then there has this little addition, okay? Create a resource for it. And you will see what happens in a second if this works, okay? Boom, created correctly, controller, okay? So if I go to app, HTTP controllers, I have a suggestion controller, okay? So instead of copy pasting all this, I just typed one command and it created the empty controller for me, put the comments in, and what it did also, it created a few functions, okay? So it created the functions edit, update, destroy, show, store, and so on. So it's pretty much quite cool. Okay, so I quite like this because that is exactly what I need to do. So it's a little shortcut. As I say, I don't use it myself because I can't be bothered to remember this PHP artisan command, but there are many like this which will do similar sort of stuff for you. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so I have suggestions controller, and this function index is this function here, okay? And says index display a listing of the resource, okay? So whatever my resource is, and the resource in this case will be my suggestions, I can just list them. So this is my read in the CRUD table. So And this is again one of those things which is kind of not consistent. Why is this function not called read if it's CRUD terminology? But there is not such thing as CRUD. You know, it's like this is something that we use so many times, and everybody has some own variation of it. Okay, so there's not set in stone. This is CRUD. It must be called that. You can call it whatever you want. Okay, so typically index. Somebody was smart because every first page in the website is index HTML or PHP or whatever. So the reading would be that index one. Create obviously is create. Store is if I want to store a new one. Display a specified resource. So this is if I want to display one. Okay, so I have a list of many, but if I want to display one, that will be show. Edit is edit that one specific one. Update is update that specific one. And then destroy is destroy that specific one, okay? So that's what we have here. And as I said, it's sometimes not exactly the same thing, okay? So what I also need to do is have a model, okay? And as you know, these models, I like to have in a table called models, okay? In a folder called models, so I have controllers, this, jobs, whatever not, and models, but these are all outside. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to fix the position of these ones, but I'm going to do this properly and create a folder, models, okay? Put it in HTTP, move, yeah. Okay, do I have to do that? And I can use probably same thing. PHP make controller is probably make model. However, model singular. Okay, suggestion. Okay, boom, and this created a model, but also created a controller. Which controller did you create? Okay, I'm going to delete this one because it looks like a duplicate, okay? And it's the same thing. So if I make model, it also makes a controller for it, which is lovely. So didn't know that, but as I say, I don't care about this one. So suggestion PHP, this is my model, okay, and it put it together with all the other ones, and if I move it here to my models folder, then I need to change the namespace. So, but, you know, just let's keep it with default at the moment, okay, so I'm going to delete this models. Okay, so this is a model, okay? And just like any other model, the whole point of this class model and objects model is that they are connected to the database, okay? So the database that I'm connecting it to would be my admin, utilities, database, data table to be precise. No, I don't have it. It's incorrect. See, when you're doing live programming, this can happen. Okay. Let me show you what I just noticed. So this is the real website where we use this, and we have this table called proposed translations, okay? And if I go to my local one, no table like that, okay? So what I'm going to do is create a table, but as I said, proposed translations, I don't want to call it like that, so I will rename it as well, okay? So what I can do is just check this box here, and create export, go in. export, okay? And I can save it as SQL. Okay, so it's proposed translations here. And then in this one, I can say import, browse from my downloads, proposed, okay, open, execute. Okay? Now I got a bug. Okay, SQL command didn't work, but it says table proposed translations doesn't exist. Yeah, because I just exported the data. I didn't export the whole structure. Okay, so let me do that one more time. Okay, so I go here, I create export, and I say save as CSV, and I don't need all the tables and all the data, but I just need the proposed transitions and its data here. Okay, so now I selected the table and I selected the data. That's what I want. Save it as SQL, export. So now I have another one. So here I say import, browse, number one, okay, execute, and now it says okay. All right, so I have my proposed translations table, and I have all this data in, again, not very good names. So I'm going to rename all this, okay? So this is going to be alter table, and I want to call this suggestions. And please note the cases, is it a lowercase, capital case, and so on. As you can see, the database, everything lowercase, and everything plural, okay, because it stores more than one, okay? So now it's called suggestions and my local. And if I alter the table article ID, so see, this is what I really don't like, is, okay, username, proposed translations, and so on. See how in SQL they like to use underscores, and here we use that, fine. So this is Arabic sentences, proposed translation. So this is this is original text, okay, that somebody thinks it's a mistake, okay? And this original text can be original word, phrase, or the whole sentence. So I'm going to call this original text, okay? And then I'm going to say this is a suggestion text, okay? And I'm going to leave all the others as they are. Okay, I'm just renaming this because, you know, I can say it annoys me, I leave it like this and I keep leaving it, or just fix it when I see it and then we are done with it. It doesn't take too much time. Okay, so I have my data table suggestions, and I have the two important things that I care about, but I also have a username and a number of times that this suggestion appears inside of this table, okay? So that's what I have here. So what I need to do, I need somehow to connect this to the data, okay? And if I look at any of these, I will copy these three, okay? And I'll explain what they are. Not controller, but suggestions, this one, okay? So, now, timestamps, false. Typically in a database, we have, and let me show you here, one which has it. Nope, users, yeah. We have when the record is created and when the record is updated, okay? And SQL does this automatically. So if I add these two columns, created that and updated that, okay, that will update the timestamps automatically. If I don't want to have timestamps, I just need to tell that timestamps are false. And this is some sort of variable that is part of this model class, which by default has a true I want it, so I overwritten it. It says don't do it with the timestamps, do it without the timestamps, okay? Guarded is if I want to protect some of the data in the database so it can't be entered, can't be changed, okay? So that's the guard, but there's nothing to guard. I want to be able to change everything at this time. And then a table that it is connected to is my suggestions table, okay? So the table is suggestions. I can copy paste this here. So now this is connected to the correct table, okay? But if you have another look, you know, this users, you know, see how the names of these are all lowercase separated by underscore. And if I go to my suggestions, original text, suggestion text. So I didn't follow the rule, okay? Well, guidance, okay? So I'm using in one table one set of names, in the other one another set of names, and then I get confused. So let's fix that, okay? So alter table, so this is not going to be original text like that, but original text like this, and this is going to be suggestion text like that, okay? And as I say, I need to fix all the others, but I don't care about them particularly. Okay, so that's the two that I care about. All right. So this is all I care about this model right now. I just need to define a few things, like configure it, and in Laravel models, these eloquent models, that's what you need to do. There are other things that you can configure, like relationship, what we did talk about last time, but there's no relationship to anything. That's as simple as this. So, do you guys remember how to get all do you remember?
Yeah.
You do?
So suggestions, equals suggestion, which was model without s.
Mm-hmm.
Dot two times and an O function. But you might have to import suggestion.
Yeah, so I have to say what suggestion is, so I need to import it just like we are importing app alphabet. So I'm just going to copy the first one that I see, and instead of this, going to put suggestion. Okay? And what I can do very quickly is dd suggestions to see, am I getting all these records? So if I go to my AIC hub, suggestions, boom, I got 4,785 suggestions. So this is suggestion number 1, this is suggestion number 2, and so on, millions of them, okay? So that's great. So what I need to do now, instead of DD, I need to get a view, which I'm going to use to display all these suggestions, okay? So where do I get the view? Well, you know what somebody said, you know, I just need to steal a view, and this is still part of the code which does something very similar, and then correct it. So this will return a view suggestion. Let me just copy paste it because I'm going to misspell it again, and I'm going to send this suggestions in style. Okay, so that's my view. Okay, but I need a view. Okay, and surely there is a PHP answer make view command as well, but I'm going to disease details, get results, disease details. Oh my God, what is this one doing? Home blade. Okay, too complicated, too complicated. Is there a very easy view. Okay, let's copy this one. Okay, so I'll copy this one and I'll paste it here. And then I'm going to rename it. And I call the suggestion, so hopefully .blade.php. So that's my view. Okay, I don't need hopefully this. I'll delete it. Page styles, drop zone, and select tool. I don't think I need these. So I'm just trying to clear this as much as I can. Then he has all these divs with, so I'm just going to delete all the code that he has on the view. And then he has like ridiculous amounts of JavaScript that he is loading at the end, or whoever programmed this, I'm going to delete this. And in context, I'm going to say suggestions, okay? So that's my view. Okay, so if I go to AI Sikha and I click on suggestions, boom, I get to view suggestions, which says suggestions. Okay, so far so good. Now, what I'm going to do is actually find a better view. Okay, the view which looks like the view I'm trying to create. Okay, and then modify that view. So the view that I'm trying to create is probably going to be this one here. Okay, so this is a list of users that can have many users. It has supports pagination, so I don't have to display 4,000 of these. I can go page by page, but it also allows me to easily search for it. So if I search for Julia, boom, here it is. Okay, so I quite like this view. And this is called data table. So the data table is some sort of JavaScript, okay, that I will have to load and configure. So it gives me this functionality, okay? But also I have some CSS, which gives me also this functionality because stuff is moving around, okay? So this comes as some sort of free library that I can use, I can download. There are actually many similar ones. And they are built in already in AppSource. We have them built in. So what I just need to do is load the correct CSS and JavaScript files, and then I will be able to implement them, okay? If I look at this one and look at this one here, and I will open this one in a separate window, I also would like this to have that white background, you know, to be really nice, so it looks exactly the same. Why are we doing this? Well, we are doing this because of the consistency. If somebody learns how to use this part of the application and comes here, it's very natural to them because it's the same UI, just says a few different things, okay? So it's going to say, add new suggestion, okay? And we don't have these import-export buttons, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do to get this specific one, which is users, okay? My admin, resources, views, themes, Wexy, views, and then somewhere in my admin, not my admin, I can search for this, it's not here, it's not here. My admin, database front page status, I'm silly. Here is somewhere users, okay? So that's the one. And what I will do right now is make this bigger, make this smaller, split this in half, and have my suggestions blade and my user blade, and I don't really need this, okay? So see what this is doing, okay? So first of all, in a page style, it loads two CSS files, okay? And these two CSS files, you can see it's data table files and data table custom. So it's to make sure that they look the same, okay? So that's in my page style, okay? So I just loaded two CSS files. Then I have all this content, which I will just copy paste. But, you know, and then I have this JavaScript, okay, which I will also copy paste. So pretty much what I could have done is just copy paste the whole thing, all right? Boom, okay? So don't need you anymore. Now the problem is what this is going to do, if I reload my page, is going to complain. Okay? Because it has no users, okay? It's not going to list anything, okay? But let me explain this to you a little bit better. So this is translation. I would like to simplify this. So this is a table body, okay? And then it goes for each user as user and then fills in this table, okay? So we'll see this, how it works. This is a delete modal, which is great. I have that as a extra. So I can do that, import modal pop-up, and then I have some data table and so on. So this is going to be really, really fun, okay? So I have a basic data table, then I have a one row, and that row has 12 columns, and then I'm using something called CRUD, okay? And the CRUD is that little white rectangular with rounded corners, okay? CRUD header, so the header, that's the name of the card. So if I go here, my admin users, so that's the name of that's the header, okay? So that's what I need to do. And I'm going to say trans, and this is going to be AI-Siha, let's say, suggestions, okay? So I will have this as a translation. Now, text right and flex, and then it says, okay, these are my buttons here, okay? So import users, export users, all right? So I say, and basically these options are only if authorized user is super admin, okay? But in my case, okay, and see how this is bad because that will be there, much easier to see. I don't need these buttons, import, export users, so I'm just going to delete this stuff, okay? So I have a button, okay? And this button is on click going to open a new page, okay? And this page will be AI-Siha, and then it will be add suggestion, for example, okay? That's my URL. Okay, and then translation, the title of this button will be AI-Siha, add translation, add suggestion. Okay, so this is my header sorted, okay? I deleted these two and I renamed these two here, okay? Any questions so far, guys? We can see errors better, debug is true, and I say, I don't know. Okay, so card body. So this is after my header. So after this, it will draw this line, and then I have this body, all right? Great. So data table is the data table. It's called data table. It has some IDs and stuff like that. I don't care. And then I have the header of the table. So what this JavaScript does, it uses a normal table, normal HTML table, and then converts it into this intelligent table that we are using, okay? So right now it has header row, okay? And in the header row, I can see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4 things, okay? It has 4 columns, okay? And those 4 columns are name, applications, role, and actions, okay? So what will I have? Well, what do I need to show? That's the question, you know. So from the database, and I will open this in a new thing, my admin, not my admin, sorry, AI Siha. So this is my suggestions. What do I care about? What do I want to show? Well, maybe I want to show the name of the person who made the suggestion. Maybe. I definitely want to see original text or suggestion text. Maybe I want to see how many times it appeared in a text, but I kind of definitely want to have some sort of button like edit button, okay? So let's say I have original, suggestion, occurrences, and then actions, okay? So I still keep my 4 columns. I think that's fine, but I will just say, okay, this is AI Siha. So first one is original text, okay? I can even copy this, but you don't have to do that, okay? And this should have an underscore as well, and actions. So this is what I'm going to have: 4 columns, one original, first one original text, suggestion, number of occurrences, and so on. So then in table body, I have to run a loop, okay? I have to add all the records. So my records are the suggestions, okay? So I'm going to copy that for each suggestions as suggestion, okay? So this is a table row, and each table row in my table has ID, okay? And I can do that same thing, is a suggestion ID. If I have that in my table, which is this, so each row in the table will have a different number. So I say, okay, so I know in my HTML, and when JavaScript connects to that, it knows which one is referring to which suggestion, okay? So that's quite useful, okay? And this curly brackets, this is a blade thing which says print the value there, okay? So that's the table row, okay? For each suggestion session at level, user level. User level, user level, level, user level. What the hell is this, okay? Let me delete this because I don't know what it is and it makes no sense. Okay, so then I have table data, okay? So DDD is going to have a username, first name and last name, okay? But instead of username, first name and last name, which is this thing here, I just want my suggestion, the first piece of information, okay? Which is suggestion original text. I think that was the first one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So my first column is printing out the original test. So for each suggestion, so it's going to be original test number 1, 2, 3, 4, one after another. Okay. And then in the users one, I have these icons that I am drawing here, okay? So I don't care about any of that, okay? So it's just TD, and I don't have to specify the width of this, okay? Like I just did here, you know, so I'm just going to delete this, okay? So I'm just going to have a plain TD table data, and I'm going to copy this one, paste it here, and then this is suggestion text, okay? And then what I can also do is rename this. So this is not application icons, this is suggestion text, and this is original text. And you can see that these comments here are kind of pointless because I can see that from here, so they're just a duplication. So the next one, in my users table, paints these little bubbles in different colors. It depends on the user role, okay? But I don't need any of that crap, because what I want to do in the next TD is just a number of occurrences, okay? So I'm just going to put that, and the number of occurrences, I get this text here, okay? So that's that. And then I should have some sort of actions, okay? So this is multiple buttons, okay, which will allow me to edit, delete, and so on, which is great, okay? So I don't need applications. I do need edit, but I will call this translation AI Siha because I will create this AI Siha file a little bit later. AI Siha edit, and delete. Okay, so I'm not inviting them to anywhere, so I'm deleting this. And this basically says if the user can't delete themselves, okay? That was requirement to delete, so you can't delete yourself as a user because that would be slightly silly, but because these are suggestions, we can delete any of them, okay? So, if I want to edit user, I'm going to create a URL call to the edit user page, okay? If you remember, I was changing this references, okay, to add suggestion, I have another page, but if I want to edit user, okay, I'm going to go to, not edit user, edit suggestion page, okay? And then, which suggestion I'm editing? I need some sort of number, okay? Am I editing suggestion number 1 or 17 or 25? So I'm going to add slash and put the number of suggestion, and that is my suggestion ID, which I also use somewhere right there. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to put slash suggestion ID. So when I call this URL, which obviously I have to add to web roots, you know, that will edit the suggestion. Okay, and this in a similar way, if I'm going to delete person, okay, so data name is not first name, last name of the user, but okay, data name delete. So this is not calling the URL because it's going to call the modal, okay? And I'm going to say I'm going to use this one here, original text, okay? So that's delete, okay? And then after that, I'm finished with table data. So this last table data is this submenu. And level, I don't know what the hell was this, so I'm going to delete it. And for each, and then table body, table done, div done, so that is my table. This is a modal, okay, which will say translation delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Cancel button, which will be, and then a delete button again, okay? Action, this is missing action, so the action has to be the URL that I'm calling in order to delete the user, so I'm going to say this, where was that action thing? Delete, okay. So I'll explain this a little bit. I'm just going to finalize in going through this view, okay? So now I have a modal or pop-up, which will pop up, and it will create this, are you sure you want to delete this guy? And if you are, it's going to call this post with some data, which we will see in a second, okay? Invite model, I don't need it. So see, because somebody made a really nice starting and end point of this model, I can just select it and delete it, you know, so it's very useful there. Okay, import, I don't need that as well. I guess that's it. You know, it would be nice that there was consistency to say this is the end of this one, but one can hope. And that's it. So this should be my table. And then after that, I have JavaScript, which should, again, have some activities and so on. We'll see what the hell is going. So if I try to refresh this page, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, we are getting somewhere. Okay? It's not perfect, but it's not also horrible, okay? So as you can see, right now the JavaScript is not working, obviously, because I can scroll forever. So it does have 4,000 records. Oh, I'll catch that. So see, if the Laravel finds a translation, it will print the translation here. If it doesn't find the translation, it will tell me which file and label it's looking for, so I can address that. So this is why I know straight away when I see this, oh, I need to replace that one, and that one, and then it will do the proper stuff. So, oh, here it is, suggestion text, okay. And then occurrences, and then actions. And then my actions are edit and delete. So it's not bad, but why the hell is it this long? Okay, so this first one is ridiculously long, the second one is ridiculously long, and then these ones are much smaller. Why I think they are ridiculously long is because this probably adapted, so you might have that, okay, and even longer ones later on, so we can deal with that later, okay, I don't care about it right now. I can specify here that these ones will only have 1 column, 2 columns, and so on, so I don't care if they are cut off or I can do something about them. But let's see this JavaScript, what the hell is going on, okay, with the JavaScript. So, jQuery document ready, orders, targets, searching, pagination. So this is kind of first thing is that say, okay, now you loaded everything, the page is loaded, document is ready, okay, we want to define few things. And this, again, I read from the documentation of this data table online, and they have a parameters. If you want to enable search box, then just say searching is true. If you want to enable pagination, then so pagination is true. If you want to sort this data in a specific order, then you specify which column you look to, you sort that by, and then do you want to go up or down, so A to Z or Z to A, and so on. Okay, delete user scripts. Invite user scripts, I don't care about this. Invite user, I don't care about. And delete user, so delete button, okay. So basically what this does, it attaches itself and shows me the model, okay. So this is for the delete user, which is fine. Okay, so why doesn't it work? Time to inspect the element, console, okay? So I reload this. No, I'm getting some errors. none of these errors are connected to my specific problem. Okay, how do I know this? Well, I know this because, you know, this is not just loading my page, it's loading all the other elements of the page. And one of the elements of this page is this matrix chat that we have, and it's rejecting some stuff here. So these two, which I say are matrix upsource.org, that's the chat feature. This little thing here, which does a work which I don't care about, okay? And that's nothing to do with this, okay? So it's reloading, everything seems to be fine. And then another one is some sort of a translation English JSON, so that has nothing to do with why my data tables are not working. Okay? So I'm like, all right, confused. This has 3 errors, but none of those 3 errors are my errors. Okay? So, tough luck. Let's look at the page source. That's my second thing that I want to debug, because it looks like I'm getting suggestions, it's just the view doesn't work properly, okay? What the hell is it doing? One thing what is annoying me here is that maybe I don't want all, okay? Maybe I just want to get, let's say, first 100, so I don't have to show 4,000, okay? So Laravel, get 100 records, okay? So let's try to see, does the documentation, Laravel eloquent, select first 10 rows, okay, fine, that's close enough. So users paginate, take 10, okay? So older version this, newer version this. So model old, and then I say take how many I want to take, okay? Fine, so I can just add that, take 100, okay? So if I refresh this page, and this one can stop, no, can't stop. Okay. Okay. So this looks like 100, okay, which is fine. View page source. Okay, there you go. All right. So what I'm looking for here, okay, well, first things first, if browsers will show me if there are any errors, it will show me this in some color like red, highlighted red. So I'm just quickly browsing through this, and this is very long because I have 100 of these, you know, so maybe 100 is even too much for me, so I'm just going to change it to 5. Okay, so if I reload this page, okay, boom, 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 boom. So this is my table, okay? So I have this texts, and then I have table. That's the first text, the second text is that, the third text is that, and then I have my actions, okay, TR. And then another row, this is my suggestion number 2, suggestion number 3, number 4, number 5, and that's the end. And this is my model. Okay. and this is my footer, and then I have some scripts. But what is missing? Well, it's missing this thing. No. No, that's the one, data table, fine. No, it is missing, so it's not here. Let me try to find something. Okay, so delete model title, Control F, Control V. That's my model. So this is the ID of the model, and this is kind of connecting to it, okay? So, but if I say find me next one, it's not there. So basically what it means, and even if I try this thing, let's just copy, paste, it's not found. So this whole scripts is not rendered on my page, okay? But is my CSS loaded, okay? So let's see this, okay? I'm just copying part of it, so, so CSS is there. So this is number one, this is that number two, so CSS is loaded. So this bit, section page style works, but it looks like this section page script doesn't work. So that looks like this whole bit of code is missing, so no wonder my tables are not working, because this code is not displayed there, okay? So when I'm debugging the front end, typically, as I said, I look at the console for errors, okay? Well, there are no errors in my jQuery data table scripts, so this one is not reporting errors, this one is not reporting errors. That would be my first guess. Second guess, let's see, is everything loaded? And then typically, if I load them in the wrong order, they might not work as well. So that's what I look from this page source. Okay? So this suggestions blade expands layouts app. Where is that layouts app? Okay? Layouts app. Okay? So see, it says yield page scripts. So it says page style, page scripts. Do you see the error?
Page scripts. Yeah.
So this template is yielding page scripts, and in my blade, I call the section page script. So it's not going to print this because it's missing a letter, so of course it doesn't match. But which one is wrong? Which one do I change? The one in my view, or the one in my layout? So one in suggestions blade or one in app blade? Which one I correct?
And app blade is correct. No?
So you say app blade is correct. Any other opinions? Yeah, Thomas saying page scripts typo. Yes, that's nice. I like that people are checking and talking. Check developer console, correct. Any other ideas which one to change? Well, there's no right and wrong, okay? I can call this a scripts page or scripty thingy, okay? Whatever I call it, it just has to be constant, okay? But the layout is extended by many pages. So if I change it on layout, I have to go to every single page and check that. So I will keep the layout, what you are saying, so app blade is the one that I want to keep, and just change it here. Okay, so scripts. Okay, so if I reload this thing here and scroll somewhere or try to find them, should see my script somewhere. Data tables, here they are. Okay, this is my script, this is the script. Okay, so now scripts are here. So if I reload this, oh, now it's all fell into the place. So let me then go to suggestions controller and say take 100 and reload this page. So I have 100, I got pagination, I got 10 per page. And if I look for something like NHS, it should filter these things, okay? So far, so good. Okay, so I managed to create read, all right? But I didn't want to just use a very simple read, just display it. I wanted to use the one which connects to the JavaScript and so I show you that stuff as well. So what we are going to do now is have a very short break, 3-4 minutes, and after that we are going to go in, how do I edit this, how do I, and see where we end up, hopefully we'll cover most of it, if not everything. So guys, talk to you in 5 minutes. because I have lots to cover. So, the scene. All right. So, welcome back to part 2 of this one. What I think is here, one thing. So see this one, adds action, my admin user delete, okay? And this is, I changed it here, AICHA delete suggestion. So this was empty. Why? Because the JavaScript adds that action in this line, okay? So I'm going to change that, refresh my page, okay? And if I click here and click delete, boom, it says users delete, so I have somewhere users delete, so that's that. So it should be AICHA delete. Okay, so refresh the page. Click this one, AICHA delete, AICHA sure, cancel and delete. So if I press cancel, it should close it. And if I press delete, it should delete, okay? And by deleting, when I click here, it should call this action delete suggestion, but I don't have the code to do that. Okay, so I will call this destroy function, but before I do that, I need something which will do that. Okay, doom, 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 doom. Okay, so it's going to be delete suggestion, and probably this is a post, and I'll explain that in a section, and this will be my function destroy, okay? Destroy. Let's see, okay, and I'm saying, and this is not probably going to show, but it doesn't matter, okay? Let's see what happens. So if I click delete, it's calling incorrect, okay? So I have AICHA double, and then I have delete suggestion, but it also puts the number of the suggestion I'm deleting, and this looks like it's not a post request, it's a GET request, okay? So I will change this to GET, and I need /ID, so I will copy this ID, okay? And I need to fix the URL, so, oops, so I think I have this duplicate, okay? So let's see what happens now if I go back and reload and say this one 611, delete, delete. Okay, so it is post. So this should be post, and I'll explain this in a second. I just want to see is it going to work. So this one, delete again, delete. Okay, boom, it says delete. Okay. We touched this briefly with the postman, okay? So the postman is something that I can use to simulate the calls from mobile apps or other apps. It doesn't have to be mobile apps, okay? And there was the drop down, if you remember, we were changing get to post and post to get, okay? So anything that is this URL like that is a GET request, okay? But if I want to send some data, if you remember, he was adding the data in those columns, key value columns in Postman. If I want to, add the data, then I can use a post request and bundle the data within, and then the data is not displayed in the URL like here, okay? And we will see that when we come to the forms even better, you know. So I'm not going to spend too much time right now because I'm going to get to the post, to the create and update record. So right now I want to destroy, so I am getting to the right place. So instead of the delete, I need to find a suggestion, delete it, and then return to the last page with message with notification. I want to tell user, yes, I just deleted your stuff, you know, just to confirm, okay? So what I'm going to do is trying to find return back with the errors, but it's not here. So I'm going to try to find a similar controllers, my admin, users controller, okay. Return back, okay, so that's what I want to do. So I'm not opening a new page, okay. I want to go back to the previous page with the message, and this message will be Siha deleted, okay? So something like that. But how do I find the suggestion and how do I delete it, okay? So does this have destroy here? Okay, I can delete it like that, but we don't want to delete it like that. Okay, client controller, delete, client delete, okay, so that's fine. I'm going to copy this. Okay, so instead of client, of course, I want to use suggestion. And this is going to be also suggestion, so okay, so let me explain this. So see the JavaScript, and each one of these lines has its ID. Okay, so I can say, okay, this is number 1, number 2, number 4, number 16, number 500, doesn't matter which one. Okay, and I'm tracking that number because that's the number from my database. Okay, so when I say delete, I want to say which one that I'm deleting. I want to pass the ID, okay? And where the hell do I pass this ID? Well, first of all, I pass it here inside of this post, but I don't have to do this. This is how it's done, and this one, so, but I'll show you the other way, okay? So ID is passed here, so this is a variable, so this basically can be any number or any text or anything like that, all right? Now, this one is expecting a parameter, which is that then assigned to this variable ID, okay? So if I say here dd ID and go back and say delete this one and click delete, it says number 4, okay? And if I click this one, delete, it says number 38, okay? So basically the ID variable will pick up that thing which comes originally from view page source, Control F 38, 138, oh my God, why are you looking? This is ridiculous, okay? Okay, that's not the best thing to do. ID 52. Okay, see that? And then I probably have ID 38 above here somewhere, etc., etc. Yep, that's the one. See, edit user, well, it says still edit user, it should be edit suggestion, delete suggestion, I didn't fix that. But see, the URL that it generates is edit suggestion /38. This one is edit suggestion /39. And then this data ID 39, this is what JavaScript picks up. And when I click that modal, the modal will open the 39 and be able to delete 39 or 38 and so on. So that's how I'm passing this number from one page to another page, to the controller, to the requests and so on. Okay, so I don't care about that. Okay, so this one, find, is again one of those Laravel eloquent methods which finds one specific suggestion, okay? And what I'm going to do is dd suggestion, okay? So let's see what that is, all right? So I go back here and I say this one delete, delete, and now I have a suggestion. So this is the suggestion that I just selected. That is going to be deleted. Its ID is 70 or whatever the case is, all right? So yeah, I want to delete that, and this is going to delete it from the database, okay? And then I go back with a notification, if that works. So let's delete this one, which has 611. I don't speak Arabic, so I don't know which one of these. So I'm just going to track that here. Delete, delete. Great, success. Okay, so if I refresh this page, it's gone. Okay, but I didn't actually go back to my previous page, which is a little bit weird. How do I fix that? I probably copied the wrong thing here. Return the redirect to this with errors. Okay, let's do that. So I want to go back to AI Siha. Suggestions. Okay, let's see, does it work? So let me try this one, which has number 10, delete, delete. Very weird. It doesn't want to go back. So what's going on? So let me do something stupid just for the test. Okay, let's delete this one, which has number 10. Any ideas? So why is it empty? Okay, there's no code, nothing. So maybe there is an error. maybe something is going wrong. Okay, so time to debug. Okay, listen to debug. Okay, and I go back to my list of suggestions. I reload this page. Maybe I deleted one too many times. Okay, I do need to remember to refresh the page. So I click delete, delete. Okay, I'm here. All right, so what's going on here? It finds the suggestions, it deletes, it then takes all of them, and it says return view suggestions. Okay, so play. Okay, so it did return the view suggestions. Okay, so maybe what I was doing, okay, because I'm trying to do this quickly, I was going back and then clicking delete on the one which I deleted before, and then because I'm not doing any error handling here, then I got a white page instead of probably my debug config is not also logged in. So I'll leave it like this, okay? Because I don't care too much about that, but what I really want to show you in next half an hour is how to create a suggestion. So I want to add a suggestion, okay, and of course I don't have the root, so I'm going to create a root add suggestion. Okay. So see, I have two functions, okay? When I want to create a suggestion, I need to display a form. But when I click save, I have another function which will read what is in the form and store it inside the database. So this is, I have two functions, create and store, okay? So this first one will be create, and this one will be store. And then the get is normal URL. When I click on the button, it opens the URL. But this post will send the data from my form, so that's what I'm talking about here. So if I go back and say add suggestion, now it's add suggestion, okay? It's simple, singular, okay? So refresh that. That works, but of course I don't have anything here, okay? So in this case, create, I'm going to have view add suggestion, and I have no data, just give me that view, okay? So I don't have to listen for debug anymore. So where is my suggestions? Okay, so I'm going to copy, paste, rename, okay. Now this one doesn't need a data table, so I'm going to delete that. Doesn't need all these scripts, so I'm going to delete them. My mouse is too fast. Okay, and this content, which is running data tables, I don't need any of that. Okay, so what I need is a form. Okay, and I'm going to steal something again from another one. So let's say clients, add a client, okay? So this is a great form which has multiple things that I need to fill in, okay? So this is a great one, so I'm going to steal this form here, okay? And I have the visuals and everything. So let's find this form add client. So that's from my admin, okay, resources, views, clients, edit, client create. So this is the one that I want to use, okay? So I'm just going to copy, paste this. Okay. Okay, so that's adding a client. But if you notice here, it's, what the hell, Mac. It's loading some JavaScripts, okay? And is it loading some CSS files? Yes. Okay, so this is loading some pickers and some select to and so on. I'm not sure do I need them, so I'm not going to copy them right now. Okay, so this is a content wrapper, body, it's called user create, it's a row, user create, card, so that's my thing, and then it has these translations, so in a header, so this is going to be AI Siha, add suggestion. And this is the key thing, okay? So this is a form which will call the URL slash AI Sihas, probably duplicate, probably I don't need it, but add suggestion. And it's going to use a post method, okay? So everything that is in this form will be sent through method post to this URL. That's what it says. However, Laravel and many of these frameworks have a protection, so I can't just fill in the form and create a script which will keep filling in the form. So it has this unique code identifier which is given to every user when the form is displayed. So that is called CSRF field, okay? And it's not going to work without it. So this is going to be a very hidden piece of information. I'll show this to you in the code, HTML. So it's a hidden piece of information which I need to have in order for this form to be protected from abuse, so people can't write just scripts and, you know, submit thousands of crap suggestions, for example, right? So I have then these inputs, and what I want to do here is ask the user for original text, suggested text, and that's it. I have two fields that they want them to fill in. I don't care about anything else, okay? So basically, it says start left column, so I just need some text field, okay? So basically, this is one of the text fields. I can see it says type text, and that's what I want to do. So I'll just leave this one, okay? And delete all the others, because obviously for client it has multiple ones. So that's going to be my, and then on the right, again, I need one text. So this first one will do because it's text. So I can delete all these other input fields. There. And then I have submit button. Okay, so let me first change the translations. Okay, so so this is going. So this is going to be same one like here. Original text. So input name is going to be original text, ID is going to be original text, type is going to be text, placeholder is going to be what is going to be in that form before I enter anything, so it can be that. And the value, actually I don't have any values to display, so I'm going to delete that. I'm happy with that. And then same thing, the other one is suggestion text. Okay, so this is going to be a label, suggestion text, name is going to be suggestion text, the placeholder. I don't have any value. And this is going to be suggestion text. Okay. And this is also translation. See her suggestions. So if I click Add Suggestions, I get a page, Add Suggestion, where I have original text, where I put that in, and suggestion text, which I put in. Okay, so I have the form. What I said before, if I view page source, not selection source, view page source, okay, CSRF, if it exists, okay, so it has the CSRF token. It has 3 of them, okay, because there are probably 3 different post forms. So, okay, so this is one of those. Okay, so that's the token that I'm talking about, all right? So it generates this unique string, which a user has to submit, and then Laravel knows that's the original user which is logged in, and it's not going to be abused, this form, again and again. All right, so let me just see this thing here. Control C, go here, Control F, Control A. Okay, so as you can see, I have a form action which is going to call this URL, and as I guessed, it has it twice, so let me fix that. Okay, so that's not going to have it twice. So that's a form, it's post, and then it has this hidden token. That's the one that I was talking about. That's the actual one, not the other 2. And then we have this input class. Okay, this is all just to make it look pretty look like the others. Okay, so this classes, they just make it a nice little label and text and so on. So input has name original text and ID original text, and this input has a name and ID suggestion text. Okay. Why is those 2 important? Okay, because when I go here and I call store, I will DD request. So let's see, original text is, I don't know, yellow, and it should be yellow. Okay, so that's what this is all about. And if I click save, it's not found. Of course, it's not found because I need to reload this page. Yellow, yellow, save. Okay, that's the request. Okay, so as you can see, there is no data here. There's no /43 or 38 or anything like that. Okay, so this whole thing is passed as some sort of arguments. Okay, so hopefully it's here. Yep. Okay. So this original text and this suggestion text are my names that I put here. Original text, suggestion text. Okay? So this little thing called request obviously has another things, you know, it tells quite a lot of information, but I don't care about any of that. I just want whatever the guy filled in to be inside here. So original text is yellow, and suggestion is correctly spelled word yellow. Okay, so that's exactly what I need. So I have that in this request. So this variable request has everything that I need. So if I try to say, let's copy original text, request, and refresh this, and it will ask me, do I want to submit the information from the form again, which I will do yes. So I don't have to go back and type again in the form what I'm just saying. So see, I got yellow. And of course, if I say replacement text or whatever it's called, it will give me yellow with double L. So it's very easy for me to get the data from the form. I just say this is request, this is the variable which I called exactly how I wanted it to be called. So what I need to do here is obviously create a new suggestion, assign values from request, and save it. All right? So to create a new suggestion, basically I'm creating a new empty suggestion, okay? So I'm going to create this, okay? So how do I create an empty suggestion, okay? Well, basically it's creating a new class, okay? So suggestion is new suggestion. And if I do that, and if I reload this and send the same data from before, yellow and yellow, so I got a suggestion, okay? But as you can see, it's stable suggestion, but it has no data. It has no attributes, nothing is there because it's empty, okay? So I need to assign these values, okay? So, and there is a trick here that I'm not going to use. I'm going to do this step by step, all right? So suggestion, the first one is suggestion text. Okay, suggestion text equals request, same thing. And then the next one will be exactly the same, but it's going to be original text. And it doesn't matter in which order I filled in the form and which one I signed this in. So I know I swapped them around, but it makes no difference, okay? So let's DD suggestion now. So if I refresh this, yes, resend the data. So now I have two attributes, okay? Suggestion text is yellow, original text is yellow, okay? So what I need to do now is save it. Okay? And what I need to do is then after that return back with the message that is saved. So let me try that thing return back again. I don't need you, I don't need you. My admin, where are you? Some controllers. Return back with errors. Okay, so that's what I want to do. So why is it not working? I don't know. And this is going to be AI Sicha, and this is going to be a suggestion saved. Okay, so if I refresh this one more time, I don't have a DD anymore, so I should save the suggestion, okay, and then it should return to the previous page, and it should have this notification. Okay, but it just doesn't want to return back, so this function doesn't work for some reason. I think it's missing redirect or something like that, but so if I go here, save, nope. Don't know why that's doing that, so I'm just going to cheat and copy paste this again. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so if I look for yellow, should be here. It's not, because where is it? This is just taking 100, so I'm going to go back to all and reload this, cancel. Oh, and I have, all right. Yeah. So, suggestion is here. Now, the problem is that this suggestion obviously already exists. And the second problem is that maybe the user just clicks save without any text. Okay, and I don't have this data. So this is what I need to check. Okay, so let's make these two fields required. Okay, so I don't want them to submit anything if these two fields are not entered. Okay, so that's the first thing what I want to do, all right? So I don't care about you as suggestion blade, so this so if I reload this page and try submit it, now I get that. Okay, just because I added this word in HTML required, these forms will not allow me to submit them. So if I say red and click save now, it's going to say, hey, this one is required. Okay, so it's very easy to make sure that user enters something. Okay, but what I want to do is also check for duplicates. Okay, so what I would do here is obviously in my controller, okay, where I'm saving this. Yes, I can do this, but before I do that, I can search for a suggestion. Okay, so let's try and find a suggestion. Okay, and I'll call this test. Okay, so what am I going to check? I'm going to check original text. Is this original text? And just give me one if it exists. So give me the first one, all right? And what I'm going to do here is DD test suggestion. Okay, so just to show you very quick how this can be done. Okay, so if I say red and then I say pink, what doesn't matter, this doesn't exist in the database. So if I click save, okay, it's going to say null because it didn't find any of these. If I go back and say yellow and yellow, this shouldn't be null, it should be something else, so it finds it, okay? So this is what I can say now. If test suggestion is not null, or I just don't need anything, I can just say if there is a test suggestion, it exists. So I don't want to okay, else so for example something like that. Okay, what I need to do really is add some messaging to the user, but I'm aware that I have 10 more minutes, so I want to speed it up a little bit. So I'm not going to send any information here, okay? So we got adding suggestion working, okay? So what is missing is editing a suggestion, okay? So So I need to edit one of these, okay? And I'm going to go back to this suggestion controller and just, because I'm not talking about pagination, so yeah, that one. Well, where is my, yeah, I don't want all, I just want 100, okay? So just it loads faster, okay? It makes no sense to load 4,000 and later on if you have 40,000 suggestions, this will just load slower and slower. So we do pagination. Okay, so I want to edit this one, okay? So I want to edit this one, okay? So URL is already there, it's edit suggestion /19, okay? So I just need to go to my web PHP and it's going to be like this. Get. So just like adding, when I click edit, I need to display the page where you can edit this. And then when you click save, I need to save. So this first one will display the page, so that's a get. And the other one is to save it. So in my suggestion controller, I have show and edit. Okay, so these are the two functions that I'm going to use here. So this will be show and edit. Okay, but this is showing one specific suggestion. Okay, and then it's editing one, edit and update. My bad, and edit, update. Okay, so these two. Okay, so this is the one which will find it, and it's going to find it exactly the same way like that. And when I update it, I will update it in exactly the same way. Okay, so I need the original suggestion. In this case, I will return view I will call it edit suggestion, and I will pass this thing to it, all right? Where's my view edit suggestion? So basically my view edit suggestion is same one like add suggestion, copy, paste, okay, rename, okay. So the only difference that this edit suggestion has, apart from the name, which is going to be edit suggestion, and the URL of the post, which is edit suggestion, is that this will not have placeholders. Okay, so these two fields will not have placeholders, but they will have a value. So I want to show the value that is entered before. And this value will be this variable suggestion, original text. So I don't need any of this thing. And here, let me just copy the whole thing. This is suggestion text. And they are still required, okay? Now I can use this variable suggestion because in my controller I found that suggestion and passed it to my view. So if I say edit, I see how, okay, fine, it has a double, so I need to fix that. So that's my actions. So let's find those actions. So this is this one, and then I have actions, Edit suggestion, so I would assume it's this one, and I edit. Can fix this. Okay, refresh this page. So edit, down there you can see it's not duplicated. So see, original text, and this one is printed here. Okay, so when I click save, okay, when I click save, it's going to treat it just like any other form, okay, and it's going to post it to edit suggestion, and it has CSRF failed. So it's going to work exactly the same, just like the one before. So in the suggestion controller, I will have a request and I will have ID. So I find the suggestion that I'm editing, okay, and then I just do that. Okay. So I assigned it the new values from my request, save it, and then I will just do the same thing, the same cheat, because I can't figure out why is it not working with that. All right, so NHS CNUM, and I call it NHS test 1, 2, 3, and click save, boom, 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 not found. What is not found? Interesting. Edit. Okay. So let me turn on the debugger very quickly, and I go to my controller. So this is where it needs to go, not destroy, but update. Okay, suggestion find ID. So let's see if I save. Okay, doesn't save, it's not finding something. So it's probably this URL is wrong. Edit suggestion.
It's a suggestion above.
But this,
Mm-hmm.
this translation.
Oh.
I can copy paste it to fix that, because, you know, edit suggestion, so web roots, edit suggestion /ID. Of course it's not found, and that's what I edit suggestion. And here, and I'm going to DD request. I think that's it. Okay, so if I go back and say NHS test and say click save, did I? Okay, yeah, so I got there. Okay, so this is the second thing that I wanted to show you. This is the last thing, you know, and bloody alarm will sound. Okay, so stop. Okay, so add a suggestion. Last thing is this URL. I don't care what ID of the suggestion is. Or do I? Because which suggestion am I editing? How am I going to find this? You know, I need to find it because, so this guy, I need ID, but in this edit suggestion, this URL is missing ID, okay? And the ID is, because I have suggestion, dot suggestion ID. Okay, so I have a backslash, and after that I have the ID of the suggestion. So now it's going to make a different request. So NHS, I need to refresh this page because I changed the HTML, NHTest123, so this should now work. And here it is, my updated thing. What I would like really is to have that notification to show it, to tell me, yes, I successfully did it and so on. But I guess it's too much for us to do now. But I think I managed to do all the 4 CRUDs. So we created the record, we updated, we deleted it, and we did a few other things. Okay? Any questions? Nope. Everybody happy? So next time, next Thursday, it's your turn, guys. So hopefully you will have all your tasks finished and have 15 minutes to show it. But now that you know this, you will probably get a new task which will be relevant to this, what we just saw. So let's create a page to show, display, update some records and so on. So what I will also do is push this code to repository, okay? And what you need to do is then pull this code from the repository so you will have all these things. So I think next week, I'm not sure, we will talk about Git and projects and so on. So, and if it's not for next week, I will change it so it's next week, the week after we talk about Git and how to manage the code and so on. So hopefully that will be very, very useful for you guys. So I'll push this, but in real world is just like AI SIHA, okay? CRUD. Okay, is it set up? Oh, done. See, push, very simple. If you know what you're doing. Guys, thank you very much. Have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.